Alhamdulillah, we reached the second segment of the lecture on health and hijama, and this final segment will be about hijama. We spoke about nutrition and we spoke about health, etc. Alhamdulillah. So now we talk about hijama and some of the questions that are asked about hijama itself. The hijama itself is a sunnah of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and there are many ahadith, over 100 ahadith regarding hijama itself. There are ahadith that are weak as well. For example, people say you can't do it on a Wednesday, for example, but that's a weak hadith. The other hadith that states that the wages of the cuppa is a base wage, but the Prophet ﷺ paid the man his due when he had hijama done, when he had headache, as well as having hijama done on his back. So, as in generally itself, it's another form of any work or something that you want to do. Many people are doing it now. There's a lot of people who are getting trained, etc. So it's something that will be pushed in the next, 2 to 5 years. It'll be on every street corner. There will be clinics everywhere doing this kind of thing, or clinics that are doing something else now. Then they will incorporate this into their framework of therapy. Incidentally, the hadith about the wage is a sahih hadith. It's not weak, so I don't want to mix up for what I've mentioned before. Other hadith which is Sahih Bukhari, is indeed the best of remedies is hijama. And scientifically now, in the medical association, the medical realm and research, they say this, that one of the best detoxes that is known, because it's very evasive. The Chinese have been doing dry cupping for over 3,000 years, meaning the dry cupping is where you just connect the cup onto the skin through a vacuum, either with the suction pump or through fire to create a vacuum. And that's what that happens. You're left there for a while, which does help because it draws the toxins to the surface of the skin. Albeit, they take the cup off and the toxins go back and mix with the back to it where it came in the first place, which is floating around between the skin and ready to be detoxed by the body. So, in regards to this wet cupping, we say that if there is anything good in dry cupping, then the wet cupping does exactly the same, if not better, because it's very evasive. You are taking the toxins out of the body. The blood that comes out of the body is not from your veins, it's not venial or arterial blood. Okay? It's used blood that is causing stagnation in the body, which causes pain or some kind of blockage, etc., etc. When you get a massage, if you ever get a massage and you get massage, you feel, oh, it feels good, because you are distributing toxins around the body, and it's not staying in one place to cause a friction in that particular place. There are cupping is of three cups, three types. The one is dry cupping, as I mentioned. The other is massage cupping, whereby it's like dry cupping, but they oil the place. They put the cups, then they move the cups over your back like checkers, basically. You're moving it around, which is basically you're getting a massage as well as distributing the toxins, which is beneficial. It's all beneficial. And the final is what we know is of wet cupping, which is al-hijama. 70% of diseases and pains and ailments are due to blood not being able to, reach certain parts of the body. So when you detox the blood, then fresh blood goes to the area to heal. Okay, so when you're doing the head, for example, headaches, you're taking away the bad blood and good blood goes there, fresh oxygen, etc., etc. As again, in order for the body to heal through fresh blood, it needs good nutrition. So good nutrition, good exercise, and a good detox to remove the blood out, the bad blood out, the body should be fine, really. Yeah, unless Allah decides in your qadr that He gives you disease anyway, or an illness anyway. Yeah, this is part of qadr. So, is hijama? I'm going to do the lecture with questions that is asked. So the next question will be: is hijama a cure for every disease? And the Prophet ﷺ said that indeed in cupping there is a cure. Also, whoever performs hijama on the 17th, 19th, and 21st of the Islamic calendar, which will correspond on certain days, then it's a cure for every disease. And this is in the Sunan of Abu Dawood. So you think about this. Also, the other hadith, which is two hadith, one is weak and one is strong in the same information, same mutun, is basically that when Rasulullah SAW went to Al-Isra al-Miraj, he didn't pass by any angel except they said to him, on you is hijama. So this is something that is something real in the ummah of Rasulullah SAW. It's a sunnah remedy, basically. And is hijama from the sunnah? And this is something that we just answered. That it's a huge sunnah, something that we should incorporate in our lives regularly. You know, so that it's as a preventative thing. Now, people that go for hijama, they're usually told to go to get hijama done once a month for 3 months, and then after that once every 4 months a general detox. But albeit if you have an ailment, diabetes, cholesterol, an illness that you need to be worked on, then I always say then come every month for 6 months. But we incorporate comprehensively with exercise, change of lifestyle, nutrition, etc. And you know, there are a lot of case studies, you know, with myself and others that you hear that people have been cured from back pain, you know, from diabetes. We're helping with diabetes, helping the cholesterol, neck pain, headaches, etc., etc. And myself as well. When I've had hijama done, I could see better. My memory returned better. And that's not sales talk. It has. And I would want the same for others, will want for myself, because I wouldn't be in this game of helping other people if I was selfish. And I mean I am a good host. I like to care for people. I like to. It's like, for example, you squeeze someone's spot, or they squeeze yours. It feels good because you see something come out of your body. Psychologically, people say, well, maybe it's a placebo effect. That maybe you just by seeing it you feel better. So what? That's the wrong thing to say anyway, because it's a sunnah of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. But so what? You know, I feel good when I see it come out of someone else's body. It makes me feel better. That it's like a shearing sheep. You know, you shear the sheep, it feels it's going to be okay, and you know, take the blood out of the brother, and it's good. It's a good thing. It's a good thing, and you're promoting a sunnah as well. So, regarding a hadith in regards to cupping is the best of remedies, we've mentioned Anas bin Malik radiallahu anhu reported that Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, indeed the best of remedies you have is cupping. Also, if there was something excellent to be used as a remedy, then it is cupping. And as we said, the angels recommended cupping to Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. I did not pass by any angel from the angels on the night journey, except that all they said to me, upon you is cupping, O Muhammad. And also, O Muhammad, order your ummah with cupping. So is there also a cure in cupping? And he said the healing is of 3 things. Okay? He said a drink of honey, and the incision of the cuppa. The incision of the cuppa. So here, is the healing from the blood being removed, or is it in the incision of the cuppa? And then we're told by Rasulullah that it is the incision of the cuppa. And this has been manifested in my work when a brother has come to me with very, very bad asthma, wheezing, and he was a burly brother, Somalian, very, very burly brother, but he had very bad chest. After consultation and adjustment, etc., lay him down, and all I did, wallahi, Allah is my witness, was 2 or 3 scratches on the kahil, on the back of the points, and he started breathing clear. And we looked at each other when he started crying. I thought, subhanallah, yani, it's manifesting in front of us now. It's not like we hear about it. It's there. Brothers have come to me, and I'm not saying they've come to me and I'm advertising myself. I'm just telling you about hijama and the comprehensive package and everything, like massage and everything else. But hijama is the healing from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And in this regard, brother called me one day and he said, oh brother, I can't walk. I think I've got a jinn issue. I said, brother, why do Muslims, as soon as they have a problem, they relate it to the jinn all the time? Why are you giving privilege to the jinn? Come down. He goes, no, someone told me that I need to get ruqyah done because they're preventing me from walking. And he came in walking with a walking stick. So after massage, after adjustment, after hijama, he walked off like Charlie Chaplin. Alhamdulillah. I'm just telling you, these are case studies that are there. And you hear many, many case studies. You know, people are like, for example, I had my own personal case. That when I had the yafukh, when I had the baby point done and the akhta'in, my memory returned and the cloud. You know, you get this brain fog. You know, it disappeared. It's like as the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, "Yujli al-basar." You know, the clarity of sight. It became more clear. So I believe in I believe in, you know, psychotherapy because I'm in it and I can see it. You know, I don't just hear it and see it. I believe in hijama, not just because it's from the Sunnah of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, but I believe it even more yaqeen because the evidence has been there from the manifesting of live cases and from other brothers that I know who do hijama and hearing case studies and case studies upon case studies on it. So there is a cure there, and even without seeing the evidence from practically. You still have to believe there's a cure because it's from the Qur'an and Sunnah. It's not about, you know, we become intellectuals, and you've got some people out there who are intellectuals. They intellectualize everything, and they say that doesn't make sense to me. Astaghfirullah, it doesn't have to. Who are you? Well, who are you? Rasulullah said something. You can't say doesn't make sense, so I'm not going to accept it. Subhanallah. When the Jews came to Abu Bakr as-Siddiq radiallahu anhu and said to him, they're laughing. He said, your companion, yani Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, your companion says that he went to from here to Masjid al-Aqsa and then Israel in one night, and it takes a 1 month journey. What did Abu Bakr as-Siddiq radiallahu anhu say? He said, if he said it, then it's haqq. He didn't say, really? That's a month journey, you know? How can you do it in 1 month? One night? Doesn't make sense. So when you get brothers like this, rhetorics, I know you feel pain, you feel like fire, because how can you say this? But you've got to say to a brother, you can't intellectualize this. There's something wrong with you, nothing wrong with the information. If you're practicing the information and it's not working for you, then you are practicing the formula, you're not practicing the formula properly. There's nothing wrong with the Quran and Sunnah, there's something wrong with you. And this is the deen. And we have to understand this. There's a lot of brothers out there who intellectualize everything. Oh, it doesn't make sense to me. What do you mean a deaf, dumb and blind and mute angel is going to whack the kuffar on the head and he's become dust, and then by the time he lifts up the hammer again, he become whole again, and whack him as a punishment in the grave to Yawm al-Qiyamah. That's like a film. Astaghfirullah, I mean, who are you talking about? This is not some man telling you. It's not some just ordinary person. This is the person chosen by your Creator to pass the information to us, to warn us. The same way a person says, I'm giving the same mindset across the board. A person says, oh, you say to the brother, you have to pray because you could end up in the hellfire. He goes, all right, if Allah wants me to spend some time in the hellfire, I'll spend some time in the hellfire. Oh, so you don't mind being in the hellfire? If you really believe that, then see how long it takes you to put a hand over just a lighter. Give me your hand and take it, let's see how long you last. If you really believe that you can handle the hellfire for even 0.0001 second. Yeah, this is when people, they joke with the deen. Like you ask brothers sometimes, why do you pray Jummah? Well, it's fard. Then why don't you pray 5 times a day? That's fard. I make dua for me, I'm lazy. I said, I'll give you one slap in the head and wake you up from your nonsense, man. Yeah, you would laugh, but it's a joke. You're taking the mickey. You're saying to Allah, you know what, Allah, you said 5 times, I'm going to give you Jummah. I'm going to give you Jummah, but still provide for me, give me food, give me marriage, give me children, give me a car, give me this, but I'll give you your right when I'm ready. And right now I'm very lazy to give you your right. So when a brother says, oh, I'll pray Jummah because it's fard, but I'm lazy to pray 5 times, you want to just whack him one on the head and he'll go, thank you, man. Wallahi, I needed that. You know, the shaitan got me, somewhere else. I mean, subhanAllah, who are you joking with? So don't be afraid to wake up people from their own nonsense. Because I don't like losing respect for a person because they're acting dumb and they're making me feel like I'm dumb to trying to make me believe what you're saying. It doesn't make sense like this. It doesn't make sense. So when we hear things like the healing is of 3 things: a gulp of honey, a drinking of honey, the incision of the cuppa, and al-kay, which is cauterizing. Sometimes he's prohibited this. You know these films like Braveheart and Gladiator, these old medieval films where they get arrow and they heat the metal and they seal the blood. That's cauterizing. He's banned that. unless it's absolutely necessary. Sometimes people got warts and they go to the doctor and they cut it out and they cauterize it. That's medical, there's nothing you can do about that. So the point I'm making here is that he said there's a healing in the honey. But then what honey? Rouse honey, you get for £2.49, which has been boiled and, nothing left of it. But we're talking about raw honey, straight from the bees, filtered once, which is filtered once to remove the beeswax, and then straight in the jars. Raw honey, like raw Yemeni honey, Sidr honey. You've got al-manna, which is like the honeydew honey. You've got manuka honey, but it's not raw, although it's so expensive. But it is medicinal. I mean, they do heat it up gently to about 34 degrees. But but why heat it? Why heat it? Because if anything goes wrong, anything happens, people get ill from it, etc., whatever, they're liable for it. So it's economic, political economics, basically. Yeah. Yarhamukumullah. So when we hear things like that, it's also about iman. If someone comes to me and says to me, let's do hijama, let's see if it works, I say, wallahi akhi, go somewhere else. Well, what do you mean? He's going to say, well, what do you mean? I said, well, because you've got the wrong attitude. It's not about can it work. The Prophet ﷺ said that it's a cure for all remedies. For you to have the attitude, I mean, you don't believe your iman isn't strong enough, so it's not going to, it may help you a little bit, but it's not going to help you like from the sunnah, because you haven't got this sunnah frame of mind. And this is very vital to understand, that everything is intention as well, so I have to make my intention, because the healing is in my incision. Or the other brothers and sisters who do hijama, it's in their incision. It's in their hand who cut. When we say cut, we don't cut, by the way. You'll see earlier after this segment, I'm going to do a live session on a brother so you can see how it is. And sisters, you'll be obviously the brother's awra. I'm not going to show you his back, but I'll show you the hijama done on his head. And once you've seen that, then we'll turn the video off, and I'll do the brother's back. Yeah, so basically it's like it's everything. It's like this deen isn't like a story. It's not a story like the Christians have in their Bible. They say Dawood slept with his daughters and blah 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 blah. And people just input and all this nonsense stuff. I mean, this is not a storybook. That's why you give to one person to read the Qur'an. They say, it was a good book. You give to another person, subhanallah, it affected me big time. Why? Because the intention, the taqwa behind it. When the truth comes, when the truth becomes apparent, a person has only two choices. There is no third. Two. Humble and accept, or arrogant and reject. There's no on the fence. If you're on the fence, you're still rejecting. Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu udkhulu fis-silmi kaffa. Oh, you who claim to have belief. Yeah, I'm mu'min, I believe. Enter into Islam wholeheartedly. Completely, not messing around here. Not messing around. So if you have, I could do my hijama because I know it's going to help me. You believe it, it's going to happen for you. Because Allah says, I am to my servant as He thinks I am. If you commit sins and say, Allah's not going to forgive me for this, that's twofold sin. One, you're reducing Allah's ability. And the second, you could be committing shirk. So when you make istighfar and you say, Allah won't forgive me, He won't forgive you. He's not going to forgive you. But it doesn't mean that for a person who believes that Allah will forgive him, that you just take the mickey and you carry on doing it. Allah's going to forgive me, Allah's going to forgive me. Allah Ghafur Rahim, Allah Ghafur Rahim. And you just carry on sinning. You prevent yourself, but if you fall in the hole, you jump out again, touch yourself, make sincere tawbah and carry on. Don't let shaitan say to you, but you're going to sin again tomorrow. Yes. And the same Lord who forgave me today will forgive me tomorrow. But you don't take the mickey. It's all about intention. Everything's about intention. So when Allah says, I am to my servant as He thinks I am, if He remembers me, I remember Him in a better gathering. So remember Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He's remembering you, and when the angels say, look at my servant, look, he's remembering me. And I'm going to mention his name amongst the angels. SubhanAllah. And who are we? Insignificant crumbs of what? We're nobody. But yet Allah honors us. Allah honors us. So when you do meet brothers that really take the mickey like that, hold your anger. But say to him, bro, if you carry on like that, I'm going to knock you in the head. You're talking nonsense. Why, bro? What do you mean? I just said to you, why do you pray Jummah? And you said it's fard. When I said to you 5 times a day, you said, I'm lazy. I mean, what, can you not understand your nafs there, your ego? Is there some you've gone to on the tracks, but you're running parallel. The real tracks, the train tracks to take you to Jannah is here. But you've taken this one. You've taken the Waterloo line, whereas you've taken the district line. You're still there, but you're doing parallel. But don't expect to end up at the same destination. Waterloo line doesn't go to where the district line goes, or etc. etc. Well, probably bad analogy because they all meet at Victoria Station, don't they? I suppose. Also, and we're nearly done now, alhamdulillah, inshallah, is Abdullah bin Abbas radiallahu anhuma reported that the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said was cupped on his head for a unilateral headache while he was in ihram. Also, he was cupped while he was fasting. And it's good to be fasting. It works better. So this is why it's better to do, we always say to people 3 to 4 hours before you have hijama, not to eat or drink anything. It works better. So we know that he cupped on his head, and on top of it, Mughith, which is about here. The mother of the mother of the helper, or the helper of the mother of the helper, Mughith, which is here. Then you got Yafuq, which is the baby spot, and the Akhta'in, and Jazatul Muhtawa, which is the bird beak, which is just here as before it gets to the soft part of your neck here. Also, he had pain in his foot, so he did it in his foot. So there's a lot of areas from the Sunnah that there are Sunnah points, for example, the actual real Sunnah points that the Prophet ﷺ did it. But obviously other points as well, for where there's joint pain, aches and pains, wherever it may be, is also Sunnah. The healing is from there. Once you take away the rubbish blood, fresh blood goes there to heal again, as long as you've got good nutrition. Also, cupping on the bottom of the chest, which is about here, which helps in the immune system, gout, some issues that you don't get in this country, elephantitis or things like this as well. So, but this is basically good for immune system, asthma, places, things like asthma, bronchitis, etc. Sisters may be asking, is there cupping for women even though they have their monthly burden, for example? Yes, of course, you can, except when you're pregnant. You don't have hijama when you're pregnant. So whatever there is for men is for women. Obviously there are some different rules for sisters when they're pregnant, obviously, because it's dangerous. So in regards to, as a conclusion in today's topic, health and hijama, is one, we have to nourish ourselves mentally, physically and spiritually. Spiritually first, that is vital. It's comprehensive obviously, but spiritually first and foremost. So if our salah is not correct, we have to sort that out. Our sunnah is not correct, we have to sort that out, etc. And this is like a life, you need to make yourself a life wheel. You get a pen and paper and work out your life. What's urgent, what's important, what am I in control of, what I'm not in control of. And most people go wrong when they try to be in control of things that's beyond their control, which affects what they are in control, because they get stressed. When they get stressed, they can't do anything. They can't do anything because they're too busy trying to control things that it's like an illusion of control. Remove that illusion of control. You have no control. You've got will, you've got a choice to make. But even when you make that choice, you still can't take that path unless Allah allows you to. We only have choice when it comes to will and control of that will, making a decision, etc. So, prayers, deen, basically deen. Then, physical and mental. Read the Qur'an regular, do your adhkar regular, have a connection with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala regularly, talk to Him. And as I always mention this, the fact that tazkiyah isn't about, oh, today I'll have Coca-Cola and tomorrow I'll have ice cream. Or, hold hands and hey, all day long. It doesn't work. Tazkiyah is about connecting to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala with what your weakness with your conscious weaknesses. So you may wake up one morning and you say to yourself, I feel a little bit envious today. I keep thinking of what people have got and I want it too, etc. And say, Allah, astaghfirullah, I am aware of it. Allah knows that you're aware of it. He wants you to be conscious though and do something about it. So you work on that dhikr, on that all day. This is why we get mentally sick, because we don't nourish the heart enough. When we nourish the heart, problems happen, and say, Alhamdulillah, ala kulli hal, no problem. And what is there? And this is why Rasulullah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam said that when you've got an issue, look at someone else who's got a bigger issue than yours, and you make yours look small, even though everyone thinks that their issue is the biggest issue in the world, because how it makes them feel, how much stress they're getting from it. And we know the story of Salama and her husband Abu Salama, and they're having a discussion. And she was saying, oh, you're a good man, I will never find anyone better than you. And he's saying, if anything happens to me, I want to marry someone better than me, and there are plenty better than me. Marry someone who's better than me. And he died. Radiallahu anhu. And she's mourning. She's mourning. And the Prophet ﷺ heard her and said, look, it's better for you to say to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to remove this calamity, this ibtila, and bring me something better. And so what happened? What happened? Anyone? Yeah. Well, Abu Bakr proposed. She said no. Umar al-Khattab radiallahu anhuma proposed. She said no. Who did she marry? Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So her husband's dua came to pass. So as soon as we have a problem, whether it be mental, physical, spiritual, it's like we go into a child mode, because our emotional intelligence are very weak. We become like children. Instead of being accountable and saying, okay, I'm turning to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tonight with tahajjud, and I'll leave it to Allah. But the shaitan will come whispering, your iman is weak, so you believe the shaitan, becomes over double, you get more stressed, this, lack of sleep, lack of this, don't want to read Qur'an, don't want to pray, don't feel like doing this, don't feel like doing that. When you do pray, it's like, finish, I don't feel nothing, there's no halawat, there's no sweetness there. And iman is like halawatul iman, the sweetness of iman. And it's there, but we have to chase it. It's not like, oh, I've got iman now, because iman to me is like a ladder. It's exponential. You may be on 10, but you've got to go to 20 before you drop to 5. So you drop to 20, when you do drop to 10. Go to 40, when you do drop to 20. Otherwise you keep dropping until you have the datum line, iman tam, which is at the datum line there, on the edge, which is very easily to fall off. You have to keep increasing yourself all the time, mentally, physically, spiritually, self-development, all the time. Continuous professional and continuous personal development is vital. As a Muslim, we should be encouraging each other to take responsibility for everything that we do. Saying and doing. Mentally, physically, and spiritually. And we'll stop there, inshallah.